Hello and welcome everyone. If you want to know how to make this painting with the Creall Pouring Pack Ocean, then keep on watching. Make sure you leave a like and subscribe, it's much appreciated. This pouring pack is almost the same as the other Creall Pouring Pack 4s, but this time you get 3 other colors. You get a phthalo blue, a turquoise and a titanium white. It's about 500 milliliters, so it's a lot of paint in there. You also get the new Creall pouring medium. You get a half a liter of that as well, and you get 4 cups, 1 dirty cup and 3 to mix the paint in. And also the stirring sticks, how to work with it, and also the canvas and the way to hang it. First we need to make our paint mixes for all 3 colors. So first I put paint in the cups and then I'll add the pouring medium. It's a 1-to-1 ratio, so I use a Sharpie to line where the paint is, so I know how much pouring medium I have to add to get the 1-to-1 ratio. The 1-to-1 ratio means you have the same amount of both products, so the same amount of paint and the same amount of pouring medium. I don't usually use these lines, I don't weigh my paint mixes, I just do it, eyeball it and see what it is and how it feels like and if it's the right consistency for me. But this time I wanted to try to use the consistency that Creall wants you to make, which is like a syrup consistency. When you've added the pouring medium, make sure you stir it very well so the pouring medium is incorporated with the paint, and then you add the water to get the consistency a lot thinner than it is right now. You don't want to add too much water, because otherwise you'll break the bonds that are in the paint. The pouring medium will help with that to keep the bonds tight, because otherwise the paint will crack when it dries, or you get really weird sand-like consistency when it dries on the painting. So now it's time to add the water. I'll show you how I mix in the water and then I'll slow down the footage to show you the consistency that I have right now. It's really thin. You don't want it to leave a mound on the paint. It just wants to flow back into the paint. It's like a bit like syrup, so make sure it's the right consistency, because otherwise you won't see all the colors through each other. Hopefully you can get a feel of the consistency through this footage. It's really hard to show sometimes, but you can also experiment with it and see what works for you. Sometimes it's different for pouring medium, sometimes it's different for different paints, so just try things out, and if you film it yourself you know what you did, and then you can make different adjustments to the progress of mixing the paints. That's how I learned to do it, and just find the way you want to do it. You can also write down what you've done in the whole progress, that way you log it as well and you can change things if you want to. Normally I use like push pins underneath the canvas, but right now I'm showing you how you can do it if you don't have that. You can use other cups to lift the canvas up, because that's more easy when you pour on it and the paint drops off. You want it high up, otherwise it will stick to the surface. When you pouring the colors into the dirty cup, make notice of the contrast of the paints, so don't put a lot of dark next to a dark color, because otherwise you won't see it too much. So try to use some white in between. That's what I did, so you get different shades and you can see the difference between the colors. And then you just flip the cup on the canvas, wait for the paint to drop, get your gloves on, or you can use a push pin to push some holes in the back to make sure the paint flows out more easily. I decided here that I wanted the cup to be in the middle. I'm gonna pull it off. It's a different technique than the flip and drag, so I'm just gonna poke some holes in it, let the paint drop out in the middle, and then I'll take the cup off. I use the burner to pop the bubbles, because otherwise you get little pinholes in the painting. You can use a little small creme brulee burner if you want. And then it's time to tilt the painting. I like to go to the corner that I like most first, and so that one stretches out. but sometimes I just do what I feel like. I don't really think about it. I just wanted to reach every corner, make sure everything is covered in paint, all the sides, and then you can decide if you want to flip it more or leave it as it is. I think the painting looks amazing. The colors really work well together. I think the white in this pouring pack really helps to get different shades in it. I'm loving it. As you can see, you get a bit of bubbles in there. You can put the paint aside, cover it and wait for the bubbles to disappear, but I just don't do that because I like the effect that it gives. You get little cells with it, but do make sure you pop them, because otherwise you get like gaps, little pinholes in your painting. And what you also should do is varnish the painting, because if you use varnish gloss, it really makes it pop. It really makes the painting almost look as it was fresh. So if you want to try varnish with this pack, you can use the code Kira and get a free bottle of varnish with any of the packs if you buy them. You do have to buy them from the Creall web shop. I leave some links below, so really appreciate if you can use that. I'm not getting paid for this, but it's just a fun gift you can get. Thank you so much for watching. Please leave a like and subscribe. It's much appreciated, and I'll see you in the next video.